with 3 outs of life left to Cuba, and Akinori Otsuka trying to wrap it up. Fans, watch your team's out-of-market games live in this Major League season upcoming from anywhere in the world. Live Major League Baseball right on your desktop or laptop by going to ESPN.com and searching for MLB.TV. Sign up today. Well, this past Wednesday, Korea and Japan, and it looked bad for Japan. Jin Young-sung made this great throw to the plate, and Iwamura was thrown out, and then Jim Bong got that 2-run single, and finally, with the strikeout, much to the chagrin of Ichiro, Jae-So planted the Korean flag on the mound at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, and it looked like Japan was dead and gone out of this tournament, having been beaten by Korea for the 2nd time. But Team Mexico, with a major upset, beating Team USA on Thursday, and Japan survived, rose from the ashes, and came here, and then in its 3rd chance did in fact defeat Korea, and now they are 3 outs away from beating Cuba. Miyamoto now at shortstop, replacing Kawasaki. Fukudome stays in to play left field after his pinch hit 2-run single. Fukudome has turned into a secret weapon for Osan here these last 2 games, after slumping all through the tournament. So here is Otsuka. Ariel Pestano, left center field, wide open spaces, all the way to the 4:02 marker. Kinjo gets it back in. It's a double for Pestano.
John, what the people in Havana, they are not going to give up. But John, one of the things I wanted to mention earlier is one of the reason that Cuba was the home team is that they had a better record, in the Classic. Some people may be wondering why they were the home team instead of Japan.
Cuba 5 wins, 2 losses in the tournament. Japan with 3 losses. But again, once you get to this final round, as Team Korea learned, if they didn't already know on Saturday, they were unbeaten, and yet they were sent home after Japan finally beat them here in the ball game Saturday night. Alexei Ramirez coming up now for Cuba, down 10-5 is Team Cuba. Now the first base umpire Bob Davidson and the plate umpire Tom Halligan are hollering at somebody in the Japan dugout.
Yeah, but is it that important?
Well, Bob Davidson was the first guy to be upset by whatever they were yelling from the dugout.
Well, they were saying that they weren't in the dugout. They had a foot outside the dugout.
And it's 0-1 to Ramirez.
Well, they were outside the dugout before. They had their feet up here.
There's a bunt, but foul by Ramirez. Now, they need base runners. They need a lot of base runners. But they can get 2 or 3 guys on, then you get to guys like Enriquez and Gurriel, Borrero, Cepeda, and then they can do some damage. They'll have to do an awful lot of damage if they're to stay alive in this one. They need 5 runs in this 9th inning to tie. Pestano, the runner at second. Eduardo Perret, the leadoff man on deck. Sprayed foul. 0-2. The count remains to Ramirez, who he hit a double off the left center field wall back in the 3rd inning. Since then has popped to short and grounded into a double play, although he hit a ball hard in the 7th inning into a double play. By the way, that double by Pestano to start off this inning, the first hit allowed by Otsuka in 5 games in this tournament. Akinori Otsuka playing for Team Japan. And the Texas Rangers will be hoping that what they've seen from Otsuka in this tournament is a preview of what they'll see during the regular American League season upcoming. And that is heading foul along the right field line into the crowd. 10 runs, 10 hits, and 3 errors for Japan. 5 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for Team Cuba. But that 1 error was a crusher. It opened the door in the 9th inning to it turned into a 4-run Japan rally. They were leading 6-5 going in. 4 runs scored, 2 unearned. Ichiro on the run. Out number 1. Tagging up Pestano, moving to third. One down, and here is Eduardo Perez. You know, years and years ago, the Baltimore Orioles took a tour of Japan, 1971, and that was the year after they had won the World Series. And many in the baseball leagues in Japan thought that Japan was ready to compete with Major League Baseball. The Tokyo Giants had won 9 straight Japan series with the O.N. Cannon, Shigeo Nagashima, whom you mentioned earlier, Joe, and Sadaharu O were the great sluggers on that team. Now here is Perez, runner at third, 1 out, and back to the screen. But you know, the Orioles went there and played real well. And the Giants or the All-Stars or whoever the Orioles played almost never beat them. And those were the Orioles of Brooks Robinson, Frank Robinson, Boog Powell, and all those great pitchers, Palmer, McNally, Cuellar. Dave McNally pitched a no-hitter, a 9-inning no-hitter in one of the games in that tournament. But now, all these many years later, Osan, as the manager, has his ball club just 2 outs away from winning this world tournament. And O said that he didn't know what the Cuban teams had been like in the past, but he did feel like this was the best team that Japan had ever put into an international tournament. Because they did send their amateurs for many years into these Olympics and World Cups and whatnot. That's into the hole. And the new shortstop, Miyamoto, will just hang on to it. It's an infield single for Perez. Pestano scores. It is 10-6 Japan. And the big hitters are about ready to come up now. Enriquez, followed by Gurriel, Borrero, and company.
Well, I think it's interesting because Sadaharu used to come over, you know, and play in spring training and get a chance to play against Major League pitching. And I know there are a lot of guys, you know, Nakajima, I'm sure, could have played in the Major Leagues. But overall, their depth and the other players just were not up to speed to be able to play and compete with Major League Baseball players. But obviously, they've gotten better.
1 out, 1 on, 1 in. And Enriquez hitting .448 this year in the Cuban League. But he is hitless tonight, 0 for 4. And Enriquez made the error that got Team Japan started to the 4-run rally in the first half of this inning. That is called a strike. 2-1 the count.
But I would think that even Ichiro would have to rethink his statements about what that he made about Korea, and it would take him 30 years to catch up. I don't think it's going to take them 30 years the way that they've been playing, because Korea played great in the Classic. They only lost 1 game. They did not make an error in the Classic. They pitched well. They did everything well.
And Enriquez fouls one back out of play. Well, the game is over. They'll have the presentation of the championship trophy, the sterling silver trophy, 25 inches tall, that weighs 30 pounds. And also the most valuable player award will be given. An all-tournament team will be named. The runners-up will each receive a round sterling silver medallion. And that is strike 3, and Otsuka now has brought Team Japan to within 1 out of winning it. And now Osan is going to go out to the mound, and he signaled for all of the infielders to meet at the mound with him and pitcher Otsuka, with Gurriel due up next.
I think he said get him out.
All right. Or perhaps let's not celebrate until we get this guy out. You were talking about Ichiro, and his comments were actually, in some way, they were misconstrued.
Right, because he wasn't talking about just Korea.
Well, he was also saying that we will beat them so badly and so convincingly that they will all, Korea, China, Chinese Taipei, realize that it will be at least 30 years before they can catch up to the quality of play in Japan.
But I still think he would like to rethink that statement. Or rephrase it.
Yeah. Because they look like they pretty much caught up with him there.
Yeah. Instead of 30 years, he might want to say 30 minutes. But actually, I mean, I just think that it was country pride and that made him say that, because Japanese baseball has come a long way.
But he did also say he was hoping. His hope was that they would do this. So 2 outs and 2 strikes. Gurriel, the hitter. That's a ball outside.
And all the flash bulbs are going off here. Probably continue on each and every pitch until it is over.
Team Japan getting ready to begin the celebration. Yulieski Gurriel. And that does it. Strike 3. Otsuka gets the save. The celebration begins. Team Japan has won the first World Baseball Classic. They have defeated Cuba 10-6. So the world has come together, and we saw so many of the great players from Major League Baseball on teams like Venezuela, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Team USA, and down the list. But suddenly we saw that there was a lot of other talent from around the world. Korea burst through like a shooting star, and they beat their longtime nemesis. Japan twice, but finally Japan has risen from the ashes, and under their manager Sadaharu Oh, it was Japan that ends up winning it all. And tonight they have defeated Cuba 10-6. The valiant Cuban team, the group of amateurs up from the island nation of Cuba, and they battled back hard in this ball game as well before finally falling short.
Ichiro, obviously a hero, a national hero in Japan. When he got that base hit and 2 RBIs, the call made by the Japan sportscasters.
センターへ抜けた。均衡を破った1人ホームイン。岩村も帰ってきた。イチロー4安打。侍ジャパンのリーダーイチローの延長10回の2点タイムリーツーベースヒットが出ました。
Much milder than Korea, don't you think?
Well, Ichiro's been doing it for a long, long time, huh? No big surprise there.
Can Korea find a little more magic? Now they're down by 2. Bottom of the 10th inning. 8, 9, and 1 are due up. This will be the first at bat for Kang, the catcher. Kawasaki will stay in the ball game and play at third base. Him on for Kataoka. So once again, Japan's 3 outs away from defending their title. And Yu Darvish, the 22-year-old, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, is on to try now to get a win. Kang does not have any numbers here for the Classic. Those are his numbers from the regular season for the Giants. 1-1. Will foul it back. 1-2.
Tell you what, he's going to have some numbers though before his career is over with. Watching him during this final. This guy can really swing the bat. And of course, the guy on the mound can really take the sting out of the swing.
Kawasaki in at third base. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Kang. Oops. 2-2.
You know, as he went to the mound, he brought his own rosin bag out. So there's a couple of them back there again. Breaking ball, trying to get him. Probably throw it a little bit too hard. I mean, he's been throwing for about an hour and a half.
No, he has.
Oh, longer than that.
Half the night. 2-2 delivery on the way, and that'll miss outside on a 3 ball, 2 strike count.
A lot of times you get an idea what kind of hitter a guy is by the way he takes a pitch. Look at this. This pitch is a strike for a long time. This kid's going to be a real nice hitter before it's all over with.
Full count. They need the base runners here. Down to third and foul.
They might have had it there.
Yep.
That looked to be ball 4.
He is 23 years old. He had a big Olympics for this gold medal winning team from Korea. Now trying to get on and get the potential tying run to the plate in the bottom half of the 10th inning. 3-2 delivery. Catcher saying he hit the glove. Jojima saying is.
Jojima is saying that he hit it on the follow through.
Yeah.
Not there, but he hit it there. No, it already came out. He's trying to sell it, but I don't blame him.
Good try.
Yeah.
It's a championship game. Three and 2. These fans are just amazing. They've been going for like 3.5 hours like this.
They were going when the gates opened.
Yeah. 3-2 delivery, and he walked him, and the potential tying run will come up. 3 walks by Darvish.
To go along with 3 strikeouts. And of course the base hit by Bum-Ho Lee.
Your attention, please. Pinch hitting, number 2.
Everybody getting a shot here. Jung Choi will come to the plate as a pinch hitter. The bullpen walking around. And a big cut and foul back.
We saw Choi play in the ball game against Venezuela. Played third base then. Had an RBI, but other than that was 0 for 4. Didn't get the ball out of the infield.
And he is 0 for 6 in the Classic. He's been brought in as a defensive replacement or pinch runner. Now as a pinch hitter. Runner at first base. 0-1. The big bats have been taken out of the lineup by Korea in the 9th inning. For pinch runners when they were trying to get the ball game tied up, they did. They don't have Hyung-Soo Kim, the number 3 hitter, and their big hitter, Tak-Kwon Kim, is out of there. 2 strike count. Very short lead at first. Check swing, 1 around. 4th strikeout for Darvish.
Center fielder, number 50.
So there's one of them. 2 outs away from the World Baseball Classic Championship. At the top of the order, Hyung-Kyu Lee has gone the distance in the ball game. He's had an 0 for 4 and a walk. Batting .235. Runner at first and 1 away. Shallow center field. Plenty of time. Aoki there to put it away. 2 down.
Designated hitter, number 8, Kyoko Cho.
Japan was here in the 9th inning where they needed just 1 more out.
Out the
to defend their championship. Didn't get it then. Can they get it now in the bottom of the 10th? Ichiro with the 2 RBIs that right now are the difference in the game. They'll play behind the runner at first base. It's the run at the plate that matters. Jung will stand in with 2 down. Darvish with a fastball, misses, ball 1.
I mean, they are completely committed to Yu Darvish here.
Yeah, I did.
Even after throwing all those pitches last night, up warming up in the 6th, 7th, 8th inning.
Unwoo Jung takes the strike. You would never see this in the major leagues.
You would see the owner coming out of the skybox to strangle the manager.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Jung, 1-2.
They can feel it.
A 4-hour ball game, maybe close to an end. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, and Japan has successfully defended their World Baseball Classic title. As good a ball game as you would want to see. It took extra innings. A comeback, my career to tie it up in the 9th. They salute their fans. Korean team. Now Japan will again receive the trophy as champions.
I know you agree with me. There's nothing but champions walking off of this field. All of the people coming out of the bullpen. I don't know if there was a guy on the bench left for either team. Every bit of it was left on the field. And I think about what Ichiro told me before the ball game. I said, what will it mean to you to win tonight? More than anything I've ever done in baseball before. More than 06 because of the rivalry now. It is a rivalry. I mean, Korea shows up. They really couldn't compete back then. They got blown out 6-0 in the semifinal game, but they can compete now. And knowing that Ichiro had the biggest part of it. It was his 2 RBIs in the top of the 10th that was the difference in this ball game.
Well, you talk about domination in the part of the game that always matters most. The pitching for the Dominican has been unbelievable. 2 runs allowed in the last 43 innings. They have held Puerto Rico scoreless in the last 22 when these 2 teams have played. They have trailed in only 10 of 71 innings. The bullpen, nothing. 24 2/3.
Well, that's pretty much the story for the guy that's on the mound right now during the regular season a year ago. You think about the problems for Puerto Rico needing to come up with 3 runs here in the top of the 9th. Not one time last year did Fernando Rodney give up 3 runs in any one outing.
So he will try for the save. He is 6 for 6. He has had a save in each of the wins the Dominican has been able to put up. They are 7-0 down to third base. Ground ball misplayed. Tejada tried to side saddle. It'll go into left field, and Aviles is on.
Thinking back on when Puerto Rico was able to eliminate Italy, eliminate USA, and eliminate Japan in the first game here in San Francisco, it seemed like it was always because they were given something. there was an error made, there was a base on ball, something would happen that would ignite them. And to their credit, they in every one of those situations, they took advantage of it.
They get the leadoff man on again. It is not, that part of the game has not worked for them here tonight. Here is Rios. He'll take the strike. Rios with a couple of walks, and he is struck out. Puerto Rico down to the final 3 outs, trailing here by a score of 3-0. The Dominican trying to finish off what they came here to do, and that's win it all. Breaking ball will get away. Runner will stay at first base. Puerto Rico 3-0 in elimination ball games. Eddie Molina watching.
It's a changeup right here. I think if he would have caught it, it would have been a strike. But if it's going to be called a strike, you ought to be able to catch it.
Puerto Rico was 5 outs away from being eliminated in that game against Italy, bottom of the 8th inning, and he rallied to win it 4-3. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Down to third base and foul.
Thinking back on Alex Rios and the big night that he had just 2 nights ago with the homer and the base hit that he followed it up with. I go back to Miami when we talked about the extra batting practice that he took. On the off day he came out to hit. On the final day he came out early to hit. Sometimes it takes a while for it all to come together.
It's hard to believe those numbers you saw, the ulfers with runners on base and runners in scoring position, almost by accident. You're going to get at least 1 hit in those situations. Tonight Puerto Rico's not been able to do anything when they've had somebody on base. 2 ball, 2 strike count on Rios. Aviles over at first. Here's the 2-2 delivery, and that ball will be popped up shallow center field. Second base, Cano's got it. 1 down. So Rodney comes back to get the out on Rios. Bottom of the order, Carlos Rivera coming up, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts.
Rodney, as you'll remember, pitched in the ball game last night. Came on to pick up the 6th save, only threw 13 pitches. That's been the biggest thing about him. If you're going to beat him, and very seldom are you going to do that, you've got to swing the bat. He just does not walk anybody anymore.
He's on for Casilla, who worked the inning. He had a strikeout and a walk. Pedro Strop an inning, couple of strikeouts. Dotel an inning plus, a hit and a walk. DeDuno stands to win it, the starter. No runs, 2 hits over 5. Alvarado, the starter for Puerto Rico, lasted only an inning, gave up 2 runs, 2 hits, and swung at 1 out of the strike zone. 0-2.
I don't think there's any question that if this score continues, and even if it doesn't, Robinson Cano is probably going to be the MVP. He has deserved it. But if it didn't go to him, you might just give it to the entire bullpen of the Dominican Republic. They've been so good.
Here's the 0-2 delivery, and that'll be fouled away. How about for Rodney, if you go back to last year? The last earned run against him was on August 14 of last year. The last time he allowed the earned run, 8-8-12. In a span of 29 appearances, including the World Baseball Classic, without surrendering an earned run. Wow. Do they ever hope that's going to continue into the regular season? 1 ball, 2 strike count.
Even though the American League lost the All-Star game a year ago, Rodney came on and had a 1-2-3 inning in that affair. You might have thought that turning 36 years of age as he did yesterday would have changed something. I don't think it changed a thing.
1-2 delivery on the way. Got him. Rodney gets the strikeout, and there are 2 down in the 9th inning.
I don't think he's thrown a breaking ball this entire World Baseball Classic. I didn't see one in Miami. I have not seen one here in San Francisco. That looks like a left-handed curveball, but it's actually a changeup from a right-hander. There's just so much arm speed there. There's so much rotation to that baseball. That's what creates that late movement.
So Luis Figueroa will come to the plate for the first time in the game. Came on to play third base. 2 down. And down the line and foul. The Dominican Republic looking to run the table here in the World Baseball Classic and go 8-0. And Rodney with a save in all but one of the ball games, and they are ready to celebrate.
They are, and you know that defensively every one of those guys wants the ball hit to them.
Swing and a miss. They may not be able to have one of those. Rodney may take care of that himself. 3-0 lead. 2 down. Fans of the Dominican Republic on their feet. Luis Figueroa with a runner at first, the 0-2. And that will be fouled off. Rodney with the 0-2. Figueroa waiting. Runner goes. Ball will get away. Making the turn and will stay at second base. Aviles. Defensive indifference. No stolen base on that.
You know, Gary, we talked about it right off the bat in our open earlier tonight. Tony Pena saying that the guy that turns on the lights for our team is Jose Reyes, and he did it again tonight with that double. And he also added that the guy laughing as he said it that turns out the lights is 1 strike away from doing that.
1-2 the count. 2 down. The delivery outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Encarnacion, the 2 RBIs in the first inning. Added another in the 5th on the RBI double by Ibar. 3-0. Pitchers haven't given up anything. No runs, 3 hits by Puerto Rico. Rodney, the 2-2 delivery. Swung on and missed. Mission accomplished. The Dominican Republic, the World Baseball Classic champions.
It doesn't always happen that way where the best team wins. But it did in this tournament from the very beginning. The closest thing to a complete team was the Dominican Republic. The offense was there. They scored a ton of runs. The defense was there. They did not allow an unearned run. The timely hitting, the power, the speed, and the experience. Tony Pena was absolutely perfect in how he handled the lineup, particularly that second spot in the order, and what he did with the bullpen.
Tough one for Yadier Molina, who led this team for Puerto Rico. He's bringing them all out on the field to congratulate the Dominican Republic, taking a page out of the National Hockey League book right here. After you battled, you come out and give credit to the opponent.
I have goosebumps all over my body. What a tremendous gesture on the part of Yadier Molina. He led them to this opportunity to be champions, and he's proven once again that even though in defeat, he's a champion.
Well, the 8-0 deficit hasn't really dampened the spirits of the folks that have traveled to support Team Puerto Rico. But make no mistake, it's the U.S. fans that are on the verge of celebrating here in an 8-0 lead. David Robertson will try to close it out for Team USA.
Trying to keep that 0 for a dominant performance.
Kike Hernandez leads it off for Puerto Rico. Hernandez, then the top of the order, Pagan and Lindor. Two 2-0 fastballs in for a strike. Giancarlo Stanton has an RBI single tonight. He's also doubled. Heated up near the end of the tournament for sure. As Hernandez pops it up. And the U.S. is 2 outs away from a World Baseball Classic title. Angel Pagan now. Puerto Rico got here dreaming of a perfect 8-0 run. And dreaming of avenging the loss to the Dominican Republic in 2013 in the championship game. And it's 0-2 to Pagan. Tanner Roark was great yesterday. 4 strong innings against Japan. The U.S. survives a 1-run game against a Japan team that was loaded and also undefeated at the time of their meeting with the U.S. Pagan has a hockey suit back up the middle for a base hit.
Yeah, so the U.S. team will have earned it, right? I mean, they would have beaten 2 consecutive unbeaten teams en route to this game, right through. That's the 5-hole in hockey, right?
Yeah.
If the goalie were to turn around.
Yeah. With the hockey suit on. Here's Lindor now. I mean, 2 weeks ago, John, you and I watched Team USA barely survive Colombia, one of the real dark horses in the tournament. And then they beat Canada to finish 2-1 and move on to San Diego. But they needed extra innings and a walk-off winner to beat Colombia. On the ground for Hosmer. He's got it. Can't get it out of his glove, so he settles with just the 1 out at the bag. That's stuck.
Catch probability on that one was pretty good.
1 out left. And a crowd of over 51,000 strong hasn't thinned a bit.
Watch this thing just hit first. He's like, I know I'm trying to get it out of my glove. But it pops right into the webbing and stuck.
Carlos Correa represents the last out tonight. He too would have been in consideration for tournament MVP if the score was flip-flopped. You know, once the Dodgers season begins, they are used to packed crowds here for sure, but in an 8-0 game, a Dodger crowd might have started to thin by now. That is not the case tonight. Folks want to be here for the celebration. A ball with no strikes on Carlos Correa. Jim Leland is 1 out away from stopping the worry. 51,000 plus on their feet. Pitch from Robertson's grounded to third base. Arenado's got it. And the U.S. has a WBC title.
So here we go. The dream scenario, the dream matchup, and within that dream matchup, the dream scenario. Shohei Otani on for the 9th inning. 9-1-2 coming up for the United States in a one-run game. That's Jeff McNeil, Mookie Betts, and Mike Trout.
Yep, here we go. This ride has taken us all the way to here, and oh man, fasten your seatbelts because it's going to be electric. And you're talking about electric stuff out of Otani. Fastball downhill, reaching 100 miles an hour, tremendous breaking ball, slider, and the split. So not a lot to go from. Only Mookie Betts really has faced him that we can tell. And that 1-for-1 with a walk and a homer.
Well, Shohei has been called the modern-day Babe Ruth. There are a couple of defensive changes to note. Nootbaar slid over to left. Taisei Makihara is into the game in center. But calling him the modern-day Babe Ruth, keep in mind, Babe was only a true two-way player for 2 full seasons.
Right.
Shohei Otani's already done it for 3. So in terms of longevity, Shohei's already passed Babe Ruth. He's running a one-man dual marathon in the major leagues that nobody's even attempted to run in a century.
Well, here's what I'm going to be interested, just knowing what I know about Otani, is will he have his command or will he be too amped up? He hasn't done this in the big leagues. He's done this in the past in a save in Japan, but he's a starter for the Angels. So can he control the RPMs, the revved up 1-inning approach, knowing 3 outs, they're a champion?
Kenny told us before the game he's done this one time, pitching in relief. 2016 to get his team into the Japan series. He DH'd and he came out of the bullpen to close it down. He tries to close down the World Baseball Classic for Japan as Jeff McNeil leads off the 9th inning for USA. Yanks the first pitch down the line, foul. McNeil came on to pinch hit for Tim Anderson in the 7th and walked on 4 pitches. Got a strike and he was ready for it.
Nasty slider, first pitch slider.
One and one.
And that's going to be the pitch that I'm talking about. The other pitches don't require as much effort. You could throw your slider, but it's that fastball and letting it eat, letting it go. And first one was in the dirt. The warm-ups, he was kind of all over the place with his fastball, but his slider, probably the pitch that has the best feel for at least not overthrowing it.
On a 1-1 pitch, McNeil watches ball 2 as the fastball takes off on him and misses high.
When you start a game, you're not in that RPM mode. You're just not. You're ready for the journey of 5, 6 innings, whatever it is. When you come into the 9th, you're in the RPM mode. You have to learn how and know how to slow that heart rate down, but still have execution on your pitches.
On a 2-1 pitch, McNeil looks at ball 3.
Just about everybody in the lower bowl is standing. No one is sitting, and why would they? I'm standing.
3-1 pitch. Fouled off, and the count goes full. From start to the very finish, to the 9th inning of the championship. The most captivating classic you could ever have hoped for. Japan 3, United States 2. Shohei Otani for the 9th inning. McNeil down the line, foul.
McNeil's a special hitter. He keeps his hands back. He hunts the baseball. He's not trying to just lift. And he hits this 3-2 slider and gets just a little bit out front. You can see him try to hook it right there. He has to protect against the fastball. You always say, hitters will tell you, prepare for the fastball, adjust otherwise. It's hard to do the other. Look for a slider and adjust the fastball. It doesn't work.
Jeff McNeil, the batting champion in the National League last year, leading off the 9th inning against Shohei Otani, who fires another 3-2. That's ball 4 to start the 9th.
Wow, what a take. I mean, that one just misses the strike zone. You're talking about a fraction below, and Otani wanted it. But McNeil was able to take it, now pinch running the legs of Bobby Witt Jr.
Can those come into play the same way the legs of Ukyo Shuto came into play in the 9th inning of the semifinal for Japan last night as he scored the winning run on Murakami's double. Tying run aboard, Witt pinch running, Mookie Betts at the plate. A fastball to the corner for a strike. 2 meetings with Otani. You mentioned it. He's walked and he's homered. Bouncing ball to second. Yamada short. Over to first, 2. A double play has Japan 1 out away.
Taylor made. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better setup for 2 guys that can run. And now, theater.
Impossible theater. The regal excellence of Japan, the overwhelming talent of the United States. And in a 1-run game with 2 gone in the 9th inning, the dream matchup. Otani, Trout. 1 ball, no strikes.
Both are going back to the same team. One's coming back with a trophy.
As Benji Gill said last night, baseball's already won. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. A fastball at 100. A nod from Trout. A 1-1 count. Ball 2, just outside.
Cut his fastball just off the plate at 100.
And Trout hardly budged. These are 2 of the greatest baseball players to ever live. Stars aligning for the dream matchup for the ages here in the 9th. 2-1. 2-2. Now what?
I mean, it'd be hard pressed for me to not throw another fastball right there. And I know it's Mike Trout, but that fastball's getting on him.
Otani's 2-2 pitch. The count goes full. Mikey at bat. Otani's ready. Trout's ready. 3-2. He struck him out. Otani strikes out Trout, and Japan's back on top of the baseball world.
He broke out his best slider on the 3-2 pitch. Wow.
Samurai Japan, which won the first two World Baseball Classics in 06 and 09. Lost in the semis the last two. They've spent 6 years preparing for this. And this incredible moment to finish it off as Shohei Otani strikes out Mike Trout, and Japan beats the United States 3-2 in the championship game. A classic in every sense.
Oh my.